So hi, I'm Delaney Verger, and I'm going to be presenting on my thesis, which was looking at parental influence on career choice and autonomy support and how those related to student well-being. So just like a little bit about my thesis. Like I said, I conducted a study looking at whether people's career choices were chosen by themselves or whether they felt their career choices were chosen by their parents, and then how those related to 3 factors of well-being. And then I also was looking at autonomy support, which I'll explain in a second, and how that related to those factors of well-being. And so why I chose this topic. I wanted to know whether feeling like you chose your own career path or feeling like someone else had kind of influenced your career path, particularly your parents, would like make you feel better about like your career choice and about yourself. And I felt like this could be really important in terms of like what people decided to do with their lives and how it could like affect their lives, and especially because this had not been studied previously. So parental autonomy support. It's basically this idea that your parents give you the freedom to make your own choices and allow you to like decide what you want without forcing you to make specific choices, and you can come to them when you have specific questions about things that you want to decide on, but they don't like make all the decisions for you. And then self-esteem, it's an emotional and cognitive state where you feel and accept your worth as a person, and you feel like accepted and desired as a person. And then self-worth, it focuses more on one's overall worth as a person, and it's more contextual and relational. So it can depend on this. It can change and depend on the situation, and it can also change and depend like on the people you're interacting with. And then finally, subjective well-being. It's often equated with happiness, but it's more that it's one's overall well-being as a person, and it's evaluated by an individual's general satisfaction with life and important life domains. So previous research has shown that choosing the right career is important. People who find that their career is fulfilling and like satisfying have like overall life satisfaction, they're happier, they feel better about themselves. And when people don't have the right career, when people don't choose the right career, they often feel like regret and they like want to desire like other domains and other jobs. So it's really important that you're picking the right career. So other people can influence your careers. So one thing that I've looked at is that parents can be an influencing factor in like how much you explore your career options and in the kinds of things you do. And so it's really important to like look at how like other ways that that people can influence your careers. And so parental autonomy support, like I said, is that like your parents influence allow you to make your own decisions, so that can really affect what career you decide to pursue. Given that like this could be something that you make, it could be a decision that you make on your own, or it could be a decision that like other people are influencing. Letting your parents allowing you to like make that choice on your own can be really important. So that's why I looked at this. And then finally, parents can impact their child's well-being. There's been a lot of research showing that they can like affect their well-being, whether it's through whether it's through things such as the attachment styles or just like their interactions with their child. Sometimes the discrepancies between what the child feels the parents are doing and what the parents feel they're doing can affect the well-being more so than like the actual relationship. So obviously how your parents impact your well-being, especially in terms of career, can be really important. So my research questions, my first question was, do students' perceptions of choosing their own career path versus perceptions of their parents choosing their career path relate to self-esteem, self-worth, and subjective well-being? And I was specifically predicting that it would be a positive relationship between those, between like students choosing their own career option versus their parents choosing their career option. And then, does perceived parental autonomy support relate to self-worth, self-esteem, and subjective well-being? And I was predicting that people who felt they had more parental autonomy support would have higher self-esteem, self-worth, and subjective well-being than people who felt they had less parental autonomy support. So like I said, I was predicting a positive relationship between perception of a perception of a self-chosen career, and I was predicting a negative relationship between perception of a mother-chosen career and perception of a father-chosen career. And again, I was predicting that perception of mother autonomy support and perception of father autonomy support would relate positively to the well-being measures. So what I did was I got 76 participants Their ages range between 18 and 23 with an average age of about 20. 56 identified as female, 9 as a male, 9 as non-binary, and 2 did not indicate their gender. And 19 identifies as first years, 14 as second years, 16 as third years, 21 as fourth years, 1 identified as a fifth year, 1 as a thesis student, and 4 did not identify their year. So participants were recruited via Facebook and the school's email. So we have like an email system called the Forum, and I sent out an email to that like asking for participants. And I also had a post on Facebook that I asked people, like my friends, to like pass on so that people from other schools and other places could participate. And they were given a link, but in order to participate, the requirement said that they had to be at least 18, currently enrolled in college, and had to have some idea of their intended career path. So if they didn't match those criteria, they were asked not to participate. So this was my first scale, and this is the one that's looking at autonomy support. So these are some of the example questions, like my mother is often disapproving and unaccepting of me. My father is not very involved in my concerns. My father helps me to choose my own direction. So this was basically just getting at autonomy support as well as warmth and involvement from the parents, and it was 42 items, 21 for each parent. And then the perceived level of their own chosen career path. I made these questions because there wasn't a scale out there that accurately assessed what I was looking for. So some of the example questions are: I decided my career path mostly on my own. The career I'm pursuing is something I want to do. And it was 12 items. And then again, I also made the perceived level of parental influence on career path because there wasn't a scale out there that accurately assessed what I was trying to look at in my research. So some example questions are: my mother influenced my career choice, or my father wants me to pursue a career that I am not interested in pursuing. And then the Rosenberg self-esteem scale, it basically just gets at like self-esteem. So some example questions are: I am able to do things as well as most other people. I take a positive attitude toward myself. And then the contingencies of self-worth scale. The scale is actually much larger than what I used. I only used 2 domains of the scale because they were most relevant to my research, which was, it was others' approval and family love and support, because those were definitely things that I was interested in with regards to my research. So some example questions are: it is important to my self-respect that I have a family that cares about me. I can't respect myself if others don't respect me. And then finally, the subjective happiness scale, that's the subjective well-being scale. And so some example questions are: in general, I consider myself a very happy person. Compared with my peers, I consider myself to be more happy than them. So I also asked for demographics, which included age, their gender, their year in school, their AOC or their major, since I was going outside of New College and people don't know what AOC is, and then the job they actually intended to pursue. So this was the order of how the participants received the information. They first answered the questions about mother autonomy support, then father autonomy support. They then answered the questions about perception of self-chosen, followed by mother-chosen and father-chosen. And then they answered the questions about self-esteem, self-worth, and subjective well-being, which were randomized, so participants didn't get those in the same order. And then they answered the demographic questions. So my results. Yay, significant results. So I found that perceived mother autonomy support was positively related to self-worth, while perceived father autonomy support was positively related to self-esteem and subjective well-being, which went with my hypotheses. And then perception of a self-chosen career was positively related to self-esteem and subjective well-being. And then strangely, even though I have like a hypothesis for this, perception of a mother-chosen career and perception of a father-chosen career were both positively related to self-worth, which went against what I expected. So, like I said, I did get significant results, which is really exciting. And one of the reasons I hypothesized that self-worth was positively related to perception of a mother-chosen career and perception of a father-chosen career is because the way the self-worth scale works is that people gain self-worth by getting approval from others. So in order to get like your parents' approval and in order to feel like worthy, you might have like agreed to follow a career path that your parents wanted for you in order to make them like support you and approve of you. So this was a strictly correlational study, so I can't draw any causal correlations between like any of my variables. So that would have to be done in the future to like determine if there's actually like a causal relationship between people choosing their own career and getting autonomy support from their parents, and then how that relates to well-being. And then I developed the scales for the perception of a self-chosen career and perception of a parent-chosen career. So future research would need to use those scales in order to make sure that they're actually valid and like assessing what they're trying to look for. And then, like I said, I also didn't use the full self-worth measure, so maybe looking at like other research that uses the full self-worth measure with regards to my research might actually prove some like useful information. And then, again, the characteristics and size of the sample. I knew that a lot of my participants were probably coming from New College, and since this is a liberal arts school, a lot of people come here already like knowing what they want to do, or picking something that they know is like maybe less traditional or like less accepted than other careers. So I knew that that would affect my results. And then my sample size was like relatively small with regards to psychology, so having more participants in future research could like better show like some results. And then future research, like I said, looking at a causal study, trying to assess whether there's like an actual like significant causal relationship between these could be really useful, because obviously we'd want people to like have happy lives by choosing careers that they actually enjoy. And then other influences on career choice. So besides parents, friends and teachers have been shown to like be influential in people's choices in life, including things like the career paths they like kind of explore as they're getting ready to pick a career. So I'd want to like also look at kind of how that relates to it.